So thank you so much, Phaedra, for coming and talking with me today. It's a pleasure to see you again. It's been what, 4 years, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. It's gone fast, eh?
Yeah.
So you're in Toronto. So tell me what you're doing now. Like, how has it been since you graduated high school? That's when I saw you last.
Yeah. So I graduated high school 5 years ago. I took a year off, traveled, worked, and then came here. So I'm at the University of Toronto, just finished. So I was studying here. I was studying ecology and evolutionary biology. So I just got my honors Bachelor of Science with that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long 4 years, but we made it. Obviously, things are a little challenging now, but yeah. So,
tell me about this semester. It must have been because you were in the middle of it, right? When the pandemic all came.
Yeah, right in the middle. Luckily for me, I didn't have to take a full course load this past semester, so it was a little bit less troublesome because I was doing a research project and in a seminar course. So for the most part, things could be done on my own and had to be done on my own. So I wasn't missing that class time as people with multiple courses were. But yeah, it was definitely a struggle. Like right in the middle of the semester, things just kind of shut down. At first, I thought it was kind of a good thing because I had some presentations, but we did them online like this. So, they still happen. But yeah, it was definitely, getting used to the new norm. But we made it, managed, and I think definitely what helped me was that because I had worked, in the previous years, I didn't have to do as much this semester.
That was a good blessing. So you didn't
lightening the load was definitely the smart plan.
So there was no final exams for you, or was there?
No. For me, I just had a final presentation and then a big final paper. So it was all good.
So what's the plan with this degree? What are you planning to do?
So my immediate plans are to take a year off, again, work, get more experience, but end goal, I definitely want to work in ecology, wildlife biology, mostly in conservation context. And for that, I definitely I'm taking the year off before I get a master's degree.
Nice.
So that's the plan. I don't know what I'm going to do for a master's degree yet specifically, but I'll have this time to kind of figure it out.
Tell me about taking that year off. That was a good plan.
It definitely was for me. So I had done IB, the IB program. I did the diploma. So all my courses were advanced throughout the last 2 years of high school. So coming to the end, it was a lot. We had a lot of exams, 2 years worth of exams in a month. And it was very stressful. And I knew that after that, I didn't want to jump into something new and something super challenging as, first year university tends to be for a lot of people. So I took a year off. I did some traveling in Africa and in Europe for a few months. And then I came back. I just worked a part-time job, and luckily I could stay with my parents. So that wasn't an issue. And I did, also, I had some courses. I did some night school because I was missing chemistry from high school just because it wasn't really an option for me at the time. So I did that during my year off, finished that, applied for university. I know deferring is an option, but I actually didn't defer. I didn't apply until my year off. But I applied, got in, made my plans, and
Perfect. So that rest gave you all the clarity to do things correctly.
Yeah, I think for me, for sure. I know a lot of people will know exactly what they want to do. I was unsure, very unsure. I was kind of good at most courses, I'm pretty academically inclined. So I was good in a lot of subjects, but I didn't know exactly what did I enjoy, right? Because in school, you're kind of, everyone does the same thing, right? And, a little bit of everything. So I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I always leaned towards sciences though. Loved animals my whole life. And the year off really made me, gave me time to think of what I like, what I will enjoy. And, you're always better at things that you enjoy. So, and it's just, it gave me the time that I needed come to a decision, and I definitely made the right one. So
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think going from that load of work from IB, I know how hard you worked in the last year,
yeah,
looking for some part, and just landing into higher university, change of space, change of people, everything changes, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah.
So that was a very good decision for you. Yeah. So tell me about high school. So when we met, there was some, like, you were motivated, you were always doing well, but there was some struggles you faced, right? So tell me.
Yeah, so basically, like my whole high school, and even, I mean, honestly, going back to elementary school, I've always done well academically. And even as I got older in high school, like from grade 8 on, I was in honors courses. You know, I was always in the higher level of like English, math, science. And then as I was getting to the later years of high school, I was switching from being an honors student to IB student. And so specifically math, that's how we met. But for me, it was, we were getting to a much higher level of math. And I understood the basics, obviously, and I think I understood it on a surface level. But I kind of realized after the first, I don't know, couple months of grade 11, I guess, that I wasn't doing very well, like on tests, and I obviously wasn't learning the same way my classmates were from the math teacher. Like I just wasn't, I thought I would get it, and then I would do a test, and then I obviously didn't get it. And so, yeah, that's when I realized, like, hey, like I know that I'm a smart person, but I'm not understanding it when like you're specifically teaching it. So I needed to like reach out and find someone else. And then I was recommended from a friend who also had you as a tutor.
Yeah. So what was it that from my tutoring you learned, or how did I help you when you?
Yeah, I think it's like no surprise, everybody learns a little differently. And I think me, I think for me, I am very much, like I said, I always lean towards kind of sciences. So I respond well to understanding like why and how. And I feel like in terms of math, it's also like, I mean, it gets pretty abstract, right? Like as you're getting more and more, further into math and like calculus, which is what I was doing, I think at the time, or pre-calc or whatever. It gets more and more abstract. And once you get to that level, I find personally, like when you just give me the surface level information and expect me to memorize it, like there's no way that I can apply that, on a test or in some sort of like problem solving thing. Like I can't apply because I don't understand it. I just like, that's why I said I thought that I understood, because like, oh, okay, you memorize this, that, or whatever. But in terms of applications, like I definitely need to understand the why and the how. And I feel like that was one thing that really helped was with you, is you like would break down, the background of things. And then also I remember too, like certain, there's so many chapters. I haven't done math since first year university either, so it's been a while apart from statistics. But a lot of things, like there's like all these different chapters and all these different units. And I found that my teacher at the time, like, never really made a connection between them. And so I found that like you would explain something and it would like, oh, okay, I remember from like unit 1 or whatever, like this is connected. And I don't know, like the why and the how, and then how things were connected kind of really helped me understand it. And yeah, I ended up doing really well.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
Went up.
Yeah, way up.
Yeah, because you had as you said, you always were doing good. It's just that at a certain point, the surface learning stops, right? We need more impact. We need more connection. I think that's what a lot of time in math is missing in our curriculum.
Because, when you're early stages, it's simple. Like, you can understand it, but as it gets more, it gets abstract. Like that's the whole, that is math, right? So it's hard if you don't understand like why.
But you can really bring it to everyday situations or language, or just connecting even, right? Even like if you don't get it into everyday format, but if you get the whole picture of it and how one chapter or one concept connects to each other, it makes a big difference.
Exactly. And I found that that's why that helped me out so much.
Yes. So you have taken math in university. So how was that experience for you?
So I took first year math. It's required as a science student. And then I haven't touched it apart from like statistics since. It was all right. I will say that like because I had taken that year off right? Like I'd come from high school, I had dropped the books, you know, at the door, apart from chemistry. Like, you know, I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I got to university my first year, luckily because of IB, again, I didn't have to take a full course load because I got those credit. But yeah, math was one of the required. And I remember in like all my classes, a lot of the material was very, a lot of it I had covered in IB. Like I remembered it, you know, everything was like pretty familiar. But I think that made me get a little overconfident.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for math, for like things like biology and whatever, it was all right. But for math, for especially the first like calculus 1, the first like semester, I didn't do very well. Like, I mean, I did okay. I passed and you know, everything. I honestly probably did better than most, but I didn't do as well as like, say in high school, obviously. And I think that if I hadn't learned the stuff at all, yeah, it would have been like a completely different story. Like I said, I was still familiar with things, but I had to practice a lot to kind of get it back up to where it was.
That's the one thing with math, especially, is that missing of the year, you could kind of lose your.
Yeah, because I was practicing so much, and then like as I was ramping up to my final exams that last year of high school, like practicing a lot, and then I was like dead after, so I didn't do anything, right? So I think for me it was the gap that kind of made the difference. But again, like I think that I still had a level of familiarity, you know.
But also it's slightly different, right? It's like 12 weeks, right? Compared to your whole year of
exactly.
So much.
In the end though, I did better in Calc 2. So it like, you know, improved.
Yeah. Because you probably worked hard in first calculus to revamp all the formulas, all the techniques and all that, right? You kind of you went through a run first, so now easier. But it's definitely not same as IB. Probably you noticed, right? It's a lot different, right? University.
I would say it's definitely more similar than I would like regular high school math. But yeah, it is different, and like you do go a little further. And again, like you said, like it's faster. It's a lot faster. So like maybe the things that we learned in my whole 2 years of IB, we covered in the first like month or two of, you know, right? So it is, we do go a lot faster. And I do think that like the practicing helps a lot. And because I mean, if you were to ask me a question like now, like I probably wouldn't be able to do it because it's been 3 years. But,
it's true, because if you're not working with those formulas or you're not thinking in that way, you kind of forget it, but you'll understand it definitely.
But again, like there's that familiarity, and it's easier for me to like relearn it, you know, than
and you probably will be shocked that you can even solve some if I give it to you. You know, it's there. It just feels a little dusty. But it's there. But it does happen. That's what happens to parents, right? They have kids and they try helping their kids and they're like, I remember learning this, but where is it?
Exactly.
Stuff with the rest of your other knowledge. But what do you think from that experience working together? One of them you said was like, you know, getting that whole understanding, right? And connecting things was hard, right? So what were you, when you came to me, were you like suffering with more than the marks? Of course, it's, you know, we always suffer with the marks. If you don't have it, that's the, you know, the current education. But is there any like self-confident? I think you were a very confident student, right? But very stressed maybe,
it definitely stressed me out. I think also for me personally, like going from, you know, with the grades, you know, but like also just in general, like finding math, like previous to like me struggling, like pretty easy. Like I understood it, I felt good about it, and then to have it just be like, wait, what? Like, you know, you just don't feel. It definitely can give you like a little blow to confidence, and like definitely stress me out. And I feel like I'm lucky too in the sense that like obviously all my friends were in this like advanced math class. A lot of them, you know, before I got help, a lot of them were doing a lot better than I was. But I still have like, I have like my sister, for instance, like she wasn't in the advanced math class, like she was in like a lower math class, or maybe the regular one, I can't remember now, but she, you know, like she struggled with math her whole life. So like I knew that there was nothing wrong with that, if that makes sense. Like it was like, okay, if you need help, then get help. Like it's not an issue. And I feel like that can be a struggle for some people.
Asking for help.
asking for help and realizing that like it's fine to like, you're not dumb, like you're just not understanding it, or you're not like relating to your teacher at that point or whatever, right? Like, so yeah, I definitely did like cause some stress, but I feel like I tried to figure it out on my own for like a couple weeks, realized I couldn't, and I like reached for help.
And then you asked for help from your parents, right? But like you were right, some people find there's a stigma attached to it, where like if I get a tutor or somebody to help me, it's like I might be dumb, labeling myself as here's the dummy who needs the help, right? Like I think a lot of kids have that.
I think so.
And then they hide it and then end up hurting themselves because nobody to talk to. It's like mentally you're not happy.
Yeah, right? It's a struggle for sure, right? So.
I find sometimes it's the parents who push them to come to me, and there's no involvement. It takes me some of my students, it'll take me like a couple of weeks before I can break them and then start working with them, before they're like I have to let them know like no one's judging here, I'm not judging. It doesn't matter like if you're not understanding. And also like as a teacher, right, like that's why I like sometimes in schools and stuff, as a teacher, if we like teach it to all of the students, but every one of us learn differently, right? We're all unique. Like, method doesn't fit everybody, right? So it's really not your fault if you're not understanding. It's just the way it's being delivered. It's not your style, or you may be lost previous year, and then here you are,
and then you're like advancing, but you don't have the basis.
They're all staring at the whiteboard. Talking about.
I mean, exactly, right?
So I think teachers, there's no reason to be afraid to ask, and teachers also should be encouraging students to, you need more help. It seems like you're missing something. I can't teach you in this course because we're in an IB course. To get help to.
Honestly, like nobody. I mean, honestly, it was like a long time ago. I had struggle remembering the details, but like, I definitely reached for help myself. Like nobody told me. I think also it's like kind of different in high school versus like elementary school. Like I think that like as you get older, the teachers kind of get less and less involved in a way, and they're more like doing this standard thing over and over again, and not necessarily monitoring everybody's progress, right? So because then they have more students, and especially nowadays, right? So I mean, I understand it, but I do think that could be another thing that could help.
Just to encourage them to go.
Just to be like, okay, like if you need extra help, like it's okay to get it.
It's a big deal. I think most of the time I remember you being stressed out. That's what because I think you had such a high, like you were such a high achiever, right? Like it came natural to you, and that's what probably I remember a lot.
I would agree.
And that's why probably you needed 1 year off, because taking all those IB causes a lot of.
It was very stressful, and like, and it is harder too when you're. I am naturally like, I'm not competitive or anything. Like I'm more competing with myself, if that makes So it's like, but I do always try to like, best myself.
Up your standards.
And that can definitely get stressful.
Is that the same way now?
I think in some ways, I think I've definitely chilled out. I think because it was like, for me, I knew that I didn't know what I wanted to do in university, but I knew I wanted to go to a good university, get a degree. I just knew that I wanted to do that. And so I feel like that, like especially that push in high school. I mean, that's why I switched schools halfway through to do IB, because I knew like the benefits of that with university. And so I was definitely probably pushing myself harder than like now. But I also feel like, you learn so much as you like grow in terms of like how to study and like how to manage your time. And so like, I feel like I can manage my stress a lot better too now than maybe then. But
so say that's kind of related to you taking a heavier load in high school, preparing yourself, like time.
I think, I kind of have a pattern of like taking a really heavy load and then like kind of easing it off like over time. So like, like in high school I did that 2 years of like hard IB, and then I took a year off, came to university for the first year. I didn't take a full load because I didn't have to because of IB, because I got like several credits. And then for my second and third year of university, I did like a decent amount, like pretty much full course loads, and even like last summer. But then this year, because I did all that, like I could kind of have a chill
That's good.
Yeah.
You're pacing it out. You
It
got
balances it out.
rhythm
And
going.
honestly, like it's been good. Like I was really glad this year because I had friends who had to take a full course load this year. And then on top, like I luckily because I had already knew I was going to take a year off. I wasn't applying for like scholarships or grad programs or anything like that. But I had several friends who were doing all of that plus a full course load, and like it definitely got to them. So yeah, I know. Yeah.
What would you advise somebody who's in high school now that you're successful? You know, you finished here for 4 years.
Yes.
What would you advise them, especially in a condition like this, right? Right now, it's tough for them, right?
Yeah.
They're not graduating. They're not graduating.
Yeah.
And there's no ceremony, there's no prom.
Yeah.
It's hard, right?
It is. It is. I mean, I would just say like, you know, still work hard, do your thing, but be kind to yourself. And like, it's okay, especially like nowadays, like this is a crazy time we're living in the past few months, right? So because of the quarantine, like it's all right to feel like behind or whatever. Like you don't have to rush, you know, it's all right. And yeah, but you still like don't take high school for granted because it's definitely easier than university. And and yeah, and grades are not everything, but it can help. So yeah.
Because I think when you work for grade, something else happens, which is you learn certain habits, right? In order to maintain a certain grade, you have to have certain habits. And
yeah,
that's
yeah, exactly. And I think you can get some really great habits from that. I think the one thing to watch out for is like not tying your like worth, you know what I mean, like to the grade. Like if you don't do as well, like learn from it. Be like, okay, what did I do differently? Do I not understand? Reach out for help, or learn from it. But don't take it personally. You know, everything. You fail every now and then, and it builds character.
And that's really important, even in the coaching and tutoring. When you were coming, like we would always bring back your other test or something you've done, and you always go over the mistakes, because it's not about the mark you got 12.
It's not about it, right?
So, you out of 20 you got 12. That doesn't give you a lot of surface to work with. But if you look at the questions, and then you can see that she really
and like learn from your mistakes.
It's the concept that you have to drill it down, not the marks. But yes, that's a good point. We all kind of either we relate ourselves to success with money, or at school we relate it to success with marks.
Yeah, it's easy to do. But
if you start saying, "Oh, how much am I worth in terms of my marks?" Some days it might feel very, very heavy and bad.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely steer clear of that.
So you think the idea of taking a year off was valuable because you weren't 100% sure what?
I think, I mean, I know like it's kind of crazy to expect everyone to have their life figured out, you know, that final year of high school to know exactly what they want to do. I definitely didn't, like until like later in the year, basically during my year off is when I decided. And even then I did switch majors like in first year. So don't, like, it's okay. Like take the time if you need it. Also, like grade 12 can be tough, even if you're not an IB, like it's lots going on. And to have to like juggle applying for things as well can be a lot as well. So like if you feel ready, go for it. If you don't, it's okay to take the time. You can work, you can gain different experiences, you can figure out what you want to do. I think that I know a lot of people, I think it's becoming more and more common for people to take years off, and people are less weird about it. But even when I wanted to take a year off, like my mom was for it, but my dad like didn't want me to because he was afraid I wasn't going to go. But trust me, like after a year off, if you want to go to university, you will. Like that's just it, you know. And if you don't, you might find something else that you like better, and go for that. So, but
you shouldn't go there because your dad or mom says it, because then you're not ready and you're wasting money.
Yeah, and for sure, honestly, like it's hard, like for everybody. You see your grades like not be the same as they were in high school. Things are harder. Like it's very fast paced in comparison. You don't get weeks or months to study a single topic. It's like days or a single week, right? So it's a lot. Things overlap. You're in like multiple classes. You'll have all your midterms in a week. Sometimes, I mean, I was lucky enough, I never had 2 on the same day. I knew people who had 2 on the same day. So it's a lot. And if you're not ready for it, there's no point in going, because it'll, like, if you're not ready for it, going to university and kind of getting like hit by that first year can really
hurt you,
really hit you, you know, and it can hurt. So yeah, so if you're not ready, like don't do it. Do it when you're ready, like figure it out.
Travel.
I just think it's like, I know some people say, oh, you'll figure it out when you're there, but honestly, like it's a super stressful environment. I don't know that you will. Like I think that if you have the time to, and you're able to take the year off, and that's what you feel is like the best for you, then you should, because it was definitely the best choice for me, and I like do not regret it for a minute.
And you guys took this as a friendship trip, right? The road trip, right? Like
well, we did in
some of your friends,
me and my sister and two of our friends in Europe and stuff. Yeah,
cool. So. That's that you planned it out. That's exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the experience it set you up for life too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be at university or high school building those experiences.
Yeah.
Go and figure stuff out. So did you go to any safari? You said you went to Africa and stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah?
I went, my family has like a place in Ghana, so we went there, and then there's a really awesome safari in the north. So we saw like elephants and monkeys and all of it.
So is that where you want to work in, something like that? Like
yeah, potentially. I don't really know, so that's why I'm taking a year off again.
Would you, if you had a chance, would you go back? Like, if the quarantine all lifts and we can
fly
again? Will you travel again?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was supposed to go on a grad trip with my family to Hawaii, but that obviously got canceled. So
this year.
That's postponed. But yeah, I definitely travel again, and I feel like honestly that's kind of the stuff that kind of influenced me into my decision, or experiences like that. So yeah, you never know.
I have another question, is how did you manage moving away so far, British Columbia to Toronto? That's a big Ontario.
It was I mean, I actually had never been to Toronto apart from when I moved here. Like I'd never visited or anything. For me, I always knew that I didn't want to live at home for university. I wanted to try, I did want a fully new experience and, meet new people and try new things. And then, when you're I was looking up top universities in Canada, this one came up. I hadn't really heard of it while I was in high school. I more looked into it during my year off. But then, I looked into the program. I got, they had I think a lot of universities do this where they have different information sessions. So in Vancouver, I went to a University of Toronto information session, learned a lot about it. I just vibed with it. I thought it was cool. And then moving here, it was a lot. I had a lot of stuff. So luckily my whole family came with me. So we all flew. And so I had my own suitcase, and then each of my family members had another suitcase, an extra one for me with my stuff. So there's 5 of them.
Nice. Big family then.
yeah, lucky. Otherwise I would have had to cut down on stuff. So so, and then I first year I did live in residence. So that process was a little bit easier. So we had a move-in day, booked our flights, all came in, my dad rented a car and everything, and we moved into my residence. Second year though, I moved out, so now I'm into my current apartment. That was a little bit more of a hassle because my roommate is actually from Nova Scotia, and so we were both I was in, I think, Alberta at the time. She was in Nova Scotia, and we were trying to coordinate to find an apartment, and it was a mess, but we found it. But yeah, I think that you have to, especially in first year, if you're moving, or honestly, even if you're not, you gotta put yourself out there, Nobody knows anybody. Everybody's super chill. It's it's not like the movies, but it also is nobody cares. So it's everyone's friendly. Everybody, says hey in the hallways at your residence, and, it's a good environment.
It's it all starts at the same place. You're all starting.
Yeah, exactly. Because everyone's starting something new, so it doesn't. Yeah, I think you can bond over that.
New friendship, new school, new environment. It's a fresh start.
Exactly.
So do you miss Vancouver? Because it's the same as Toronto. There's no hiking and
I think the outdoors part, which is what I study, definitely miss that from BC. I do like living in the city though, because obviously I didn't live in Vancouver when I was in BC. So I do like living in a city. There's a lot going on, and it's nice. I do not enjoy the winter. I miss BC winters because it gets very ruthless here. But yeah, so parts for sure.
Getting used to it.
Yeah. I remember when I had to buy my like first parka because I didn't own one because we don't need it in BC, but here you most certainly do.
Oh yes. And it's like some, like, I don't know, it's even the summer is a bit humid, right? Here
Yeah. Oh, very humid here.
Over there it's different.
It's all different.
Yeah, I come back and I can't stand it. Like my parents live there.
Oh, right.
Come back and I'm like if I go in the winter, it's like when you go indoor, it's too hot. When you come outdoor, it's too cold, and your body's like going, it's freaking out.
It's not fun.
So they're like, I don't know why they put the heaters so high. Like
I know, because it's like cold outside, but like everyone's wearing a parka. So like the minute you walk in a door, you're literally boiling alive.
I just can't come in the winter, and then summer is pretty much. Yeah, I'm not. I quite enjoy BC after living there. And
I like weather-wise. Oh, it is. Yeah, definitely.
And the water too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the lake is not the same as the ocean. As much as like native Torontonians would like you to believe, it's not.
No. So what? So this pandemic, has it? I know it has not affected you that much because you weren't taking note. What about for future, like for the next few months in future?
Yeah, I think in that respect it has. I mean, like obviously we're not doing a graduation ceremony, but more than that, like
you're graduating too. Yeah. I was talking about high school student, but that's your graduation big ceremony too.
Yeah. So we don't have that. I mean, it's like online, but that doesn't really count. And
are they gonna replace it later, like one day?
I think they are, but whether or not people will be able to come, because I think the plan was maybe in September, but like people have jobs, people are doing grad school, like it's just whether or not that's gonna actually like work out. I have no idea. I hope so, but I don't know. I think main thing for me right now is like jobs and like looking for things like that. I think it's gonna be harder. Luckily, I'm not too concerned right now. Like I'm all right now, but I do, like, my point of my year off is to kind of get work experience like in my field. And I do foresee that being a little bit more challenging with all of this. Just because
next few months we'll see.
Hopefully it'll ease up and it'll be a little easier, but you never know, so we'll see.
Congratulations. Like, I'm so impressed that you went on it, did it, took a year off, went back. Like as most parents fear, like my kid's not going to go back after she travels.
Yeah.
Tell them, yes, I'm going back. I'm doing what I said. You know what? In my mind, for some reason, I thought you were going to go into medicine. Was that something you had in your mind?
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Like I did change. Like it was up there. Like I was gonna, I was doing biology, and then I didn't know if I was gonna do like human or animal. And for a long time, I thought I was gonna do kind of human medicine, but I hated the classes and I liked the animals a lot more. So I did that. I did switch.
One other thing that I want to quickly say is that's what the coaching that I was doing with you. Always, you would say when it all came together, you had this aha moment, right? You're like,
that's why like I mentioned that. It's just like it was like things connected. Like that's how I kind of see the world, I guess. So like to me, that really like made the difference. To just like. Oh, okay, like that's obvious now.
And then when you got that, you just flourished. Like you just get the whole thing. You don't need any more explanation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whenever you did that aha moment, it's just like, yes, she's got this. Now we can move on to the next. Thank you. So thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I think I think things are starting to move. Like I went to Granville Island this morning for a walk. I can see the ferries starting to move. They're cleaning it. I mean, things are starting to move. Unless we have another wave or something that all down, I think it's positive. So we'll just hope for the positive.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And good luck with your graduation, even though it's not the same.
But thank you.
Hopefully they can make it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you all the best. Thank you.